So this video is going to be a little bit of a longer video, probably around 25-30 minutes. And we're going to talk about the mission analysis process and a custom model pattern that we created in Enterprise Architect to automate the documentation, to automate the PowerPoint presentation generation, and to kind of lead what I'll call supervised practitioner through the mission analysis process. The assumptions that we're making here are that somebody from either marketing or a business analyst or a higher level executive has showed up and said, hey, I have this great idea and I want you guys to do the detailed design. So for this, we're kind of taking a step back and saying, what's the real problem we're trying to solve? We're gonna document that and summarize the problem statement into a nice simple diagram. We're going to summarize what my idea is into what I call the solution canvas, talk a little bit about who are my stakeholders, what are their use cases, and then a functional flow block diagram. The main goal of mission analysis is to set up ConOps. The model pattern that we're using here is really an extension of UML, not SysML. We're still in that loosey-goosey area where I'm just trying to make some diagrams and cartoons. I'm not really looking to have a structured, formal, syntactically correct SysML model that I can simulate and execute and all that. We're really focusing here on providing some nice diagrams that we can present to management and show the scope, determine is this something that I really want to do or really not want to do because the scope is too much or I'm going to impact the stakeholder I don't want to touch. And this model pattern is really set up to focus on DocOps, being able to generate a document from the diagrams that I can circulate. Maybe I can upload in Jira if I create an epic and I want to do mission analysis on an epic. I can automatically generate a document out of EA, throw it in there, and then other stakeholders can look at it and consume it. And also to generate a PowerPoint slide that can be reviewed by my stakeholders for a technical review. So this is the basic process that this mission analysis beta custom model pattern is using. A new mission is identified. Maybe that's an epic that somebody's defined, and now I want to say what's the impact through mission analysis. And we have a problem definition canvas. Then you can decide, hey, do I need to do a deep dive or not? If the answer is yes, and I want to do a deep dive, then we have a pain point analysis canvas. And there's a couple diagrams there that help you to brainstorm with the team, with stakeholders, capture what are my pain points, my plus deltas, and then another canvas that helps you rank them so that you can say, hey, look, these are the areas that I'm really going to focus on. So that's the pain point analysis, and it further supports the problem definition. Then I have my idea canvas, which summarizes what my idea is in relation to the problem. It has some questions that you can answer, the who, what, why, when, where, how. And also it talks about what are the 5 features that I need for this to be realized, what are my stakeholders, and what are the business requirements that I have. So one nice designed to be a single pager that I can print and show stakeholders, throw in a PowerPoint slide and present. Then I have my mission context diagram. Again, this is more loosey-goosey. This is before we're applying a SysML syntactically correct context diagram. Then we get into stakeholder analysis, and this is a mix of business analysis, stakeholders, and some SysML tactics. Then you can do individual stakeholder analysis if it's needed. Maybe it's not needed because it's simple, so you don't have to generate that part of the model and you can jump on past it. We have mission analysis use cases, a functional flow block diagram, and then the technical review. So the idea is these would be, iterative process. I fill these out with the team, single lead engineers filling this out. They get to the end, they do a technical review. If it passes, yes, then the mission analysis is complete. And that would set up the later ConOps, which would then go into user needs and system level design. If you're going down the V model, and or no, if it doesn't pass, then I come back to problem definition, or I tweak this as needed. So this is the basic process that we're looking through. And now I'm going to jump into the model and walk you through how to generate the model pattern and show you what you get. Okay, so here I am in EA. I'm going to come over. This is where I'm going to do my example. I right click, Get the context menu, add a model using a wizard. I'm going to select the new mission analysis model pattern. Again, this is a beta. We're working to get this finalized and improve it. I create the model pattern, and it gives me some options. So like I showed in the process diagram, if you don't want to do the pain point analysis, then you just uncheck that box. EA won't generate that. Same thing if there's the template comes with 12 stakeholders. Let's say I only want to go up to 8 stakeholders or 7 stakeholders. I'll uncheck this, and it'll only generate this for 7 stakeholders then. So I click OK. Okay, so I run the wizard, and then this is the package structure that it gives us. It has a nice navigation page. Here is the navigation tiles to the main diagrams throughout the model. And then we also have some off-the-shelf reports. And the way that these work, you double click, you go and select where you want the template to be. So you have to change this output location because it's looking for my desktop. And we'll just go into the temp folder here. We'll do a docx, click save, and generate a report. So I paused it while the report was being generated, and we'll get back to that in a minute, but that gives you a basic idea of how simple it is to generate reports out of this. And the way it works, it goes right down through the project browser in order and systematically pulls out the contents of the package and then the individual elements. The template, note each one of the packages has off-the-shelf text describing what each one of the steps are, why we're doing the steps, and some of them even have references to things that you can read up on and get a little more in-depth understanding. So that's how we build the model patterns with the idea that we can generate documentation from it and generate our PowerPoint slides. So here's our landing page. Let's look at the problem definition canvas. So here's the problem definition canvas. I can go into the problem in my notes over here. I can add what the problem statement is and the observation. The way that you can see it shows up here, it'll get generated into a report then, and we can give the problem a name as well. The idea is we'd fill this in last, and we come and really describe the what, the why, the where, the who, the when, the how, the frequency, and the symptoms. And from there, this helps us to really strengthen and come up with a nice, robust problem statement. So this is the problem canvas. I'm just going to click the back arrow there and navigate out. Now let's go look at the pain point analysis. The pain point analysis is a brainstorm canvas. One thing you do want to do with these models, some of the diagrams, you want to just select them and go to the appearance, enable custom draw style, come over and do another right click and just do a top center. It gives it a nice little bit more of a simple diagram versus a package. It's showing a package. So the way this is set up is the problem statement will come in here and be linked. So you can see we entered in that text before, and that gibberish shows up here as well. I can then come in and define some of the scopes. Typically I bullet point what some of the challenges are that we're seeing with the business process. And then you brainstorm with the stakeholders on what are the pain points, what are the pluses and the deltas of what's currently happening with the system or the product. Then from there, you go to the analysis diagram, and the pain points here are linked. And you come down, you fill out. Let me just zoom out on this diagram. These would be automatically filled out. Then you come over and talk about the axis occurrence. These notes say, hey, what does high mean? Does that mean it happens every time? What does low mean? Happen once a year? So you come and fill out these little context notes, and then from there you come and rank the pain points with the stakeholders. And it's set up to be drag and drop like this. The elements will be filled out on a previous diagram, and then you can come and fill out the pain points. this gives you an idea of these are the ones you really want to focus on, right? High occurrence, high impact. These are the things that I want to focus on. And this gives you a nice single page. Again, these are all designed to be 8.5 by 11 sheets I can print, show to my management. So this is the doc ops being built right into the process. And I just clicked on the print preview button to get that last screen. I have a video that shows you how to set up your toolbars and everything in the same mode that I have here. So if you're wondering where some of these are, go watch the video. You can figure it out and get it set up then and see exactly you have the same setup I do. So let's jump back into the mission. Let's go back to the main navigation page, and let's look at the idea canvas. So, here we go. So this is a mission idea canvas. Again, problem statement gets linked. Here's where I start to talk about the new idea. This is the new idea that marketing or the business analyst or an executive has come to you with. You've defined the problem statement and what they're really trying to solve. Now you come and document their idea. There's some notes that are on here so you can give a little bit of a description or maybe put some metrics in. Then there's some questions here. Why is my idea important? How will it help? What's the value? What's the market? Do I have any idea of the market size? Who are my customers? And what are the challenges? Who won't like my idea? Who's going to be resistant to this? I also have some templates here that I can fill out. What are the features and who are my stakeholders and what are my business requirements? The feature templates, and I'm going to right click again, and I'm going to go to properties, special actions, and this follows the safe definition for how to define a feature. There's also some tag values over here, so we can come and do add some story points or some t-shirt size. It uses a modified Fibonacci, and we can specify that. We can also specify dates when we think we would need this, when it would need to start by, and you can fill this out. And again, this gets generated into the report for stakeholders to come back and look at, or for you to come back and look at. So those are my features. Same thing with the requirements, and same thing with the stakeholders. There's templates inside of each one of these that we can fill out that help to document what our ideas are and what the needs are. So that's the idea canvas. Now let's jump over to the mission context diagram. So here's a mission context diagram. What are my inputs? What are my controls? What are my outputs? What are my enablers? Again, this is a package view, so you can do the right click, appearance, go down to enable custom draw style, and do the top center, and then this will print out into a nicer style diagram. And again, this is set up to go right into a PowerPoint slide. Those of you who haven't used the shortcut keys, I can jump back to PowerPoint, and I can go to a blank slide, and all I have to do is click on the canvas. So I just clicked on the diagram background. I'm going to do Control A, which is the Windows shortcut for select all. Control C for copy. I'm going to bring that PowerPoint slide back up. Here it is. I'm going to click on the slide. I'm going to do a Control V, and there's my my mission context diagram. So I have a nice diagram that's easy to be reviewed in the technical review, and hopefully I don't have to do any additional formatting to it. The dates and everything automatically get updated too, with who created it, what the version is, and when it was created, when it was last updated. So there's some valuable info there. And is this stale? Is this up to date? That's already in the toolbar and taken care of. All right, jumping back, let's go down, and that was mission context. So let's go. Sure, we'll save those changes. Let's go back to the stakeholder analysis. So there's 3 things in the stakeholder analysis. There's the onion, which kind of helps us brainstorm on who are my stakeholders and what level of impacts do they have on the system. Then there's the management level, which is more of a PM type, project management type of a diagram and a tool. And it's of my stakeholders, what level do I need to have them? They need to be aware, they need to have wholehearted buy-in. This just gives us an idea of the importance ranking of them. And then this is the typical stakeholder hierarchy diagram where I can have specializations and generalizations the different stakeholders if needed. We'll start out with the onion. Remember when I generated it, I only selected 7 stakeholders. So if I would have done the full 12, they would have shown up over here. And this is my stakeholder onion diagram. Again, all the diagrams have text that kind of talk about what they are, what's the value of it. So that's in the background. Let's just zoom out a little bit, and this is what the full diagram looks like. So I can go through, my idea will automatically get populated, and then these are the stakeholders with direct interaction, peripheral, and influencing, and feel free to move them around and customize the diagram as you see fit. You can also go over to the toolbox, and this goes with any diagram. You can scroll down to the common, drag a note, add some notes. These diagrams all have customized elements, and you can grab those customized elements and drag and drop them. And so this is a Six Sigma lean diagram type, so it's more focused on the business DMAIC lean process improvements, where some of our other diagrams are more UML extensions. So there's a stakeholder onion. I'm not going to save that. Here's our stakeholder management levels. So here are our stakeholders. Here's our different layers. Oh, that's a typo right there. Again, this is a beta. You have any changes you want to make? Send me an email or mark up the changes and let us know what you need to make. Then there is, if I come down to the stakeholder package, there's what we call an individual stakeholder analysis. This is where the stakeholder hierarchy diagram is. And note the eyeglasses here. So anytime you see an eyeglasses in EA, that means that there's a child diagram. So if I go and look at the child diagram, here's the stakeholder canvas. This is complete overkill to do this for every stakeholder, but there's some stakeholders that we really want to know. What are the stakeholders' responsibilities with the system of interest or the new idea that I'm proposing, and what are they really concerned about? So, cybersecurity and ensuring that it's cyber secure could be a responsibility, but that's not really their concerns. Their concerns are making sure that hackers don't get in and get access to the data, systems are locked down, those types of things, and those are our concerns. And these are the types of things that we're then going to take, and in the ConOps part of it, we'll tie requirements to. Maybe we'll turn them into quality attribute scenarios that become non-functional requirements and help shape what our architecture is going to look like. So again, this is just, we pick a couple of our key stakeholders that end up, either in the close layer of the onion where they're directly interacting on the system, or they have to have absolute buy-in from the stakeholder levels diagram. And if they have concerns that are going to affect architecture or functionality, we might want to do a little bit of this. It's focused really on system of interest and what are they concerned about with regard to my solution. It's not all their responsibilities. That's complete overkill. And for some projects, you're not even going to want to do this. Note too that the diagram here has changed. Now we're back into the model, the MBSE safe model pattern. And so there's some elements down here for features and epics and spikes and user stories and things. So if you want to you want to add anything like that to the diagram that the stakeholder might care about, you can come and drag and drop these. These will get added to the report as well. So that's the stakeholder analysis. The mission use cases. Again, these are stakeholders, business analysis level. So what are their user goals? What are their use scenarios? These are very high level things. I'm in the surgical robotics medtech area, so we talk a lot about surgeons and doing knee replacements. So user goals would be able to do a knee replacement or be able to do a hip replacement, and the use scenario would be, hey, I use this device to go through and do a knee replacement. And again, these all have model patterns and templates associated with them, where a description, why this is a differentiator, what are the assumptions, and then what are the basic flows. And this would get generated into the report as well. And this would also get set up and traced to user needs and use cases that we're going to do there, system level use cases where we're going to go more black box, gray box type of stuff, all the way down into our subsystem design, which will be white boxes, and the tracing all the way up. So this sets up a top down tracing for our use cases and requirements. This pattern also has a functional flow block diagram that looks something like this. This is using the whiteboarding profile that EA comes with. So we didn't touch this one. You can add circles and shapes and anything else you need to describe the typical functional flow block diagram. High level, this is the process. This is how this idea is going to get used and solve problems. And again, not sysmol. This is whiteboarding type stuff. Let's frame in the problem. Let's capture it from our stakeholders and our business analysts, our marketing team, our executives. Capture it in this nice format, and then I'll turn it nice, easy, simple format, and then I'll turn it into sysmol as we get into ConOps. One other thing that this comes with is, since this follows a pattern, it comes with a story map. So in Jira, somebody identifies an epic. What's the next task I'm going to create? Define that epic. Define the scope of that epic. And that's what this user story is. It says complete the feature definition or epic definition by using the mission analysis. So I'm going to click on this, and over here are the notes. So if you look at the notes that would be inside of this element, I already have a user story, a description, and what the acceptance criteria are for this user story. So as a development engineer, I need to create a feature definition for the portfolio review committee so that they can understand the scope, technical impacts, etc., and make a good assumption. So that's what I'm looking to get out of the completing of this template. Again, this is written for very specific MBSE SAFe 5.0 applications, but you can use it for other things. And in SAFe, they focus on the feature definition. That's kind of what we were focusing on here. And here are all the other enablers, and then here are the tasks. There's only 7 stakeholders in this diagram. There would be 12 because we'd have 12 tasks, but I didn't generate all the packages. So one of the things that you want to do, and you'll notice if you come back to the problem, here's an enabler story. You would want to move this enabler story down to the mission analysis, agile elements, and then I can come up to the publish ribbon and do a CSV export and export this, and you get a CSV dump of this story map, and I can throw this right into Jira then. The CSV can be imported, and then I basically have I have a backlog ready to go and be executed to complete the mission analysis. So this is a nice thing. There's a pattern. Future work, as we hopefully move from beta to alpha, we'll embed some things in here that will be more specific. Maybe we embed a variable or something, and then you'll be able to string replace it and give the name of the epic or the feature, and it'll automatically, the script will go in and update all these to say problem definition for whatever your epic name is or whatever your feature name is. And it'll be nice and easy to understand once you get it to Jira or whatever you're doing for Agile project management. I do have a model pattern where we do some Kanban analysis, and these do appear here. It's not ready for, I wouldn't even call it a beta yet, but that'll be a future video that I'll put out when I release that. So this is a really high level. It was very long video, but that kind of gives you a summary of all the high level packages. One other package, the diagram elements. So here's where all the diagram elements, the stakeholder onions, and a lot of the report specifications and things are stored in here. So once you generate your mission analysis, you want to move this somewhere so that it doesn't get deleted, because a lot of the configuration and files and stuff that are needed for the custom profile are located in here. I have it turned off, so if I go to properties and scroll down to projects, exclude from report generation, so I have it checked, so it won't generate a report. None of this will end up in a report that we generate. So speaking of which, let's jump back to the report and see what we got. So here's our mission analysis template. This comes standard. Actually, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to open up the Word document. Okay, so here is the Word docx report that was generated by running that report. So I have a nice cover page. These are all variables, so it says the version, the author name, the time and date. You can change all this. I have some videos out there that show you how to go and update the reporting engine, and I've also open sourced them on the GitHub page. So you can go and pull out any of the report templates and modify them as you see fit. But here's the boilerplate text that talks about what mission analysis is, how it sets up ConOps, the scope, some more you can read about. Of course, all this stuff is coming from the CBOC, the NCOSI handbook, the mission and NASA mission analysis, the NASA handbook, which talks a lot about mission analysis and business requirements. So if you're looking for some good background info, I highly recommend reading them. Here's the template, and you can see here's the nice diagrams that get printed out. There's some off-the-shelf text that says, "Hey, why are we doing pain point analysis? What's it look like? What's the point of it?" And this is what that looks like. You can see I generated the report before we went in and fixed the packages. Otherwise, they're those nice pretty blocks that you saw at the beginning of the video. So pain point. Every element that's in here has a template. So pains have a pain point description, a context, and impact. So the idea is as I'm in a workshop doing this, I can capture text and put it in here from the stakeholders. A lot of times I'll turn on, if it's a Teams meeting, and record it, get the transcripts, come back and copy and paste the transcripts into the context, summarize the impacts and the descriptions. And it's a very quick, rapid way of generating a document. If you're in a safety critical industry, documentation is everything. So that was really the focus with the doc ops on the templates. Again, there's way too many pain points and pluses and deltas in here. There's also descriptions about how I fill it out, what I put in the description, what I put in the context. And so these models, the models and the model patterns have a lot of description. I'll probably go back and, as time allows, I'll make videos on how to complete each one of these, and maybe I'll do it with a concrete example. But this video right now is just to share some of the templates and how to use it with some of the other NCOSI stakeholders that we've been talking to and we're going to collaborate with. I'll post a link to my GitHub channel to where you can go and pull both of these model patterns and have access to the templates and things. And you can give it a try if you have EA and you're interested. There is a free 30-day trial version of EA, so if you just want to play around with some of these things and see how they work, feel free to go get the trial version. And then I have a video on how to load in the MDG. So that was a long video. Yeah.